Good evening, everyone. Today, me and Lorena, we're going to be presenting the representations of social events and also analyze the clauses from a representational perspective. So basically, the perspective and also all the categories, they all can change and they also differ from each other when we look at the clauses from a representational meanings. Because in this perspective, clauses can be seen as having three main types of elements, such as process, participants, and also circumstances. So basically, the experimental function of language is to represent events in all around the world. Each event is represented by a clause, as you can see right there, and each clause has a verbal group. And this verbal group, they are called the process. So we can conclude that every clause must have a process. So here's an example sentence. Delilah eats chicken every day. So Delilah is classified right here as a nominal group and also the participant. So each clause must have at least one participant. And the participant is the person or the thing connected to the process. So the process, as the example below, the Delilah eats chicken every day. The eats is the verbal group, which is also called the process. And we can also conclude that all the phrases must have at least one participant and at least one process. And both are going to be connected and linked to each other. Another example is another optional participant in the event is the person or the thing which is affected by the process, which in this case is the chicken. That is the person that is affected by the verb eats, which is another participant. And the participants, there are usually nominal groups, as you can see, and they can be real things like the cup, or the TV, or the pencil, and all the concrete things. And it can also be abstract nouns such as wish, or fear, or sadness, or happiness, and those abstract elements. And they can also be represented by pronouns such as it, or they, or them, or her, and all these pronouns that we all know. So another example is the circumstances, which is another optional part of the clause. And we can see in this case, it's every day because it answers the question, how often? So basically, circumstances typically answers the questions such as how, why, where, when, how often, and what for. Basically, the elements that answer these questions, they are probably classified as the circumstances. So circumstances, they are usually classified by an adverb or a preposition. And as you can see, the example, Delilah eats chicken every day. Every day, in this case, is represented by an adverbial. And often, countless women are killed due to feminicide. In this second example, often it is also an adverbial which represents the time, how many times the women are killed due to a feminicide. And the final example, at night, people tend to party. At night, in this case, it is represented by a preposition because, as you can see, at night, we have a preposition at the beginning of the sentence. And we can also conclude that circumstances, they do not have a fixed position because, as you can see, in the three examples, we can find a circumstances in the final sentence in the final of the sentence or at the beginning.
So now we are going to see some representation of process and associated participants and also circumstances. As Leticia said before, she talked a little bit about the process, but now we are going to see more about the six main types of process. We have the material, the verbal, the mental, the relational 1 and 2, and also the existential process. They also have key participants, which are the actor in the material one, also the affected thing. We can have also the experiencer, the phenomenon, the career, the attribute, the token, the value, and also the existence. Circumstances here are very important. We have time, place, purpose, reason, manner, and also means. They are also important to this process. Now we are going to see a definition of each one of them. The material process is a process of doing or happening, and the actor is very important here. The verbal process includes all modes of expression and indicating. The mental one has to do with the affection or the lack of the affection, cognition, perception, and also the desire. In the relational process, they are concerned about being, possessing, or becoming. Something very important here is that they require two participants. And the last one, the existential one, involves the constructions which are introduced by an empty there in the subject position. Now we are going to see some examples. I have in the first one, Eleanor played soccer yesterday. This sentence is about the material process. Eleanor here is the social actor. Played represents the material process, and soccer is the scope, which is the part that remains unaffected by the action. And yesterday represents time. The second one is about the verbal process, and it says, the doctor expressed some concern. The doctor is the addresser. Expressed is the verb. And some concern is the content of what is said or indicated. The next one is the mental process. I can say, I hate my blonde hair. I is the sensor, the one who feels. Hate is related to the mental process, and blonde hair is the object related to the feeling. In the relational case, I have Jonas was fantastic during the game. Jonas is the carrier, was fantastic, his attribute. In during the game, the time. And the last one, the existential case. Once upon a time, that is related to time, there was, that represents the existence of something. In a far lands of God, there is specified what is there. Going on. Now, saying more about the circumstantial elements, we can say the location, the reason, we can say the location, time, reason, or cause, and also manner when we are studying about the representation of social process. I can say I lost my wallet in the park to represent location. When I talk about time, I can say I went to my friend's house yesterday. Reason, she likes to sing for fun. There is why she sings. And also the manner, Elizabeth tore her t-shirt carelessly. Now, another type of process is the nominalization, which was when nouns are made from other parts of speech. We can have adjectives, verbs, or nouns, and add some suffix, and you have a new noun. So in the best case, nominalization can help us to express complex ideas, perception, and also talked about intelligence. And it's very common to be used by academics, lawyers, bureaucrats, and also business writers. In the worst case, they can impede us to have a clear communication because of the exclusion of some participants in the clause. So now we are going to talk about a little about the representation of social actors. Leticia talked about the participants in clause, but not all participants are social actors, as you're going to see. When I say the truck hit George, George is a social actor. When Rihanna said, I hit a wall, wall is a participant, but not a social actor. The main social actors are people and groups that make things happen. We can see government, trade unions, and etc. And now to be more specific, we have some variables of social actors. We can have inclusion, exclusion, named, classified, pronouns, nouns, specific, or generic case, as we are going to see. In the first one, we are going to talk about the suppression, that is, when it is not in the text. The second one is about backgrounding, when it's somewhere in the text, but you have to infer in one or more places. About the pronouns of the noun, that is the easiest one. When you see I, he, she, it, there is when you have the social actors as a pronoun. As in the sentence, I work every day as a doctor. I, here, is a pronoun. In the next case, we have named and classified. Name, I can say Lorena Colares and Leticia Nobre. Class or category, I can say the doctors. And individually or as a group, I can say the doctor to a specific doctor or the doctors as a group. And the specific or generic, as the example says, teachers, those who work in a particular school or university, or teachers, the class of teachers in general. Now we are going to see an example of what we are talking about.
Ow!
Who are you?
Oh, hi. I'm Joey. My stupid friends are buying this house. Who are you?
I'm Mackenzie. My stupid parents are selling this house. I hate my parents.
I hate my friends. All right, look, there's got to be a way that we can stop this from happening.
Like what?
What? Oh, okay. You come with me and you tell them that the house is haunted.
What are you, 8?
Okay. Let's say your great idea.
I don't have any great ideas. I am 8.
I mean, the soap opera's a great gig, but am I missing opportunities? You know, I've always thought of myself as a serious actor. I mean, should I be trying to do more independent movies?
I don't know. But you know what? I'm gonna put you on with my bear. Hold on.
Hey, Bailey, I need some career advice.
So, summarizing all of these topics that we've talked about, Joey said, my stupid friends are buying this house. My stupid friends in this case are representing the participant, the nominal group, and the subject that are realizing the action. The action in this case is buying because it's the verb or is the verbal group, and it is also called the process. And this house is the participant and the nominal group represented by the object, which is also the thing that is affected by the verb. Joey also said, you come with me and you tell them that the house is haunted. So the pronouns me, you, them, as we've talked about it, the participants in the nominal group, they can also be represented as pronouns. As you can see, Joey said.
Now about the little girl. She said, I hate my parents. I here is the censor, the one who is feeling things. Hate is related to the mental process and the lack of affection. And my parents is related to the feeling of the girl. So here we can have a nominalization process. When Joyce says, should I be trying to do more independent movies? Independent here is an adjective, and if you add a suffix "-ance", we can create a new noun, independence. So this is an example of how nominalization works. So guys, there was a little bit about our presentation about representation of social events. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for your time.